If there's one team whose future plans are surely in limbo, it has to be Joe Gibbs Racing. Coy Gibbs, Ty's father, passed away, and as a result, Joe, the team's owner and Coy's father, would soon no longer be able to handle things on his own, putting the team on the verge of disbanding. And let's take a look at some of the reasons why Joe Gibbs Racing may not be participating in the sport. Hello NASCAR fam, and welcome back to NASCAR Live. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. It is expected that the ownership of the team will face challenges in the wake of Coy's passing. The drive required to run a NASCAR team may just not exist, which is why maintaining unity may be difficult. However, there is one factor that we must discuss, and that is Ty Gibbs' entry into the JGR Cup Series starting in 2023. JGR's lineup for the 2022 season included Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., and Christopher Bell. In the upcoming season, Kyle Busch is expected to leave the group and join Richard Childress Racing. Even though it hasn't been confirmed yet, there are persistent reports that Ty Gibbs would play for his grandfather's team in the Cup Series starting in the upcoming season. But will the circumstance be the same as it is in F1 right now? Given that Lawrence Stroll owns Aston Martin and that his son Lance Stroll drives for the team, Lance has struggled all season. However, because his father is the team's owner, there isn't much that can be done to find a replacement. What will happen to the family-owned team if Ty Gibbs joins the squad? Clearly, Ty is renowned for all the bad reasons on the grid and has shown to be a very controversial and reckless driver. His recruitment would be a reasonable solution to the vacant seat that Busch will leave behind. His reputation began to suffer in the Xfinity Series as a result of the situations involving Ryan Sieg, John Hunter Nemechek, and Sam Mayer. But Jones, a teammate of his, needed a victory at the Martinsville Speedway to proceed to the championship. 4 JGR drivers advanced to the championship race rather than the usual 2. Ty's planned collision with his teammate to win the race exposed the truth that there were 3 JGR Motorsport drivers and only 1 Joe Gibbs Racing driver. Ty, who is only 20 years old, still has a lot to learn about this sport, and his recent behavior has seriously hurt his chances of becoming a reliable and competitive driver. However, the facts are what they are, and they are as follows. Gibbs' grandfather owns the team, and if he participates in the Cup Series, this is the team he will join. Why is this damaging to the team? In terms of drivers making up a team's starting lineup, they don't exactly have a promising future. Truex has previously made retirement hints, and Hamlin is currently concentrating on his ownership of the 2311 Racing team, of which he is currently a founder. If the youngster wishes to learn and watch instead of bragging about knowing who their granddad is, these experienced drivers can bring some receptive mind. Situations like his won't be resolved quickly in the Cup Series, and that is something Gibbs is most aware of. Knowing it and not using it, however, are 2 distinct things, and this is where if comparable actions are already being taken, NASCAR should step in and stop them. Returning to Joe Gibbs Racing, let's discuss why we believe the team is headed for ruin. 2 drivers are concentrating on retirement and owning a team respectively. You have a careless driver on the team who is unpunishable. In any event, he would want to drive for Joe Gibbs because it is a family-owned business and his family owns it. Being careless is one thing, but intentionally crashing with a teammate in the name of victory while being aware that your action will endanger your colleague's chances of winning the championship, that has to be on another level. One driver does not make up a team, and we are well aware of this. The interest in the drivers competing for Joe Gibbs Racing, however, will be equivalent to 0 if that one driver decides to sabotage everyone else's races. Is Gibbs prepared to drive in the Cup Series at this point? Ty has competed in 15 Cup races this year with 2311 Racing, filling in for the injured Kurt Busch. Gibbs finished first in 11 of his 51 Xfinity Series contests, but that doesn't mean he is prepared for the Cup Series, which presents a significant challenge. Throughout the Texas race, he has continually been involved in collisions and penalized as a result. Gibbs lost 75K and 25 points after he door-slammed Ty Dillon on pit road during the race. Gibbs' immaturity as a driver has been amply demonstrated this season, with the most recent example being in Martinsville. It goes without saying that Gibbs is a reckless driver. Will he be able to do it? You cannot, of course, achieve stability in the Cup Series with talent alone. Given that your grandfather owns the team, this situation is not at all difficult. Can JGR survive this action, though? Due to the fact that the team's chemistry will be equivalent to 0 over the long run, this probability is very likely. Ty's personality could undergo some significant changes that would eventually move him far closer to the best drivers, but this is an unlikely scenario, and the fact that he is frequently at fault for accidents and is constantly involved in them speaks for itself. NASCAR has received talent from JGR without fail, in the same way as Christopher Bell, Eric Jones, and Joey Logano did. However, Ty and Joe's familial ties will likely prevent some matters from being disclosed, which is bad for the team and bad for sports in general. This would imply that JGR becomes the most infamously team on the grid, and that there will be little to no interest in driving for them. Will the team leave NASCAR? That is a long shot, and it is unlikely to happen while Joe Gibbs is in control. However, if Ty joins the club starting in 2023, the team might experience some radical shift, and Hamlin and Truex' retirements occur sooner rather than later. As a result, Joe would need to explain to his grandson how certain issues stand within the NASCAR community in a serious man-to-man conversation. Ty already has people looking at him, so he doesn't need any extra pressure or foolish mistakes that could ruin his career. There is a possibility that has been discussed in NASCAR circles before it even properly begins in the first place, and that is when Joe Gibbs started to back down. If Joe Gibbs decides to walk down as the team's manager, which we don't see happening, the team sponsors will then have to make a challenging decision over whether or not to keep funding this team. The 5-time Cup Series will continue to exist, but unlike when they signed Busch in 2008, the route they are going doesn't actually hold out great hope for them. Ty has received criticism from well-known NASCAR community figures like Kyle Busch, which hasn't helped. Because his grandfather owns the team, Kyle claims Ty is a spoiled driver who gets whatever he wants. Ty Gibbs has now shown to everyone that he is arrogant and entitled, and thinks he can just go in and take things when they're not his, and do it the wrong way. As he said, "I don't believe it changes a lot in the garage. I think it affects the fans' perspective of who Ty Gibbs is. We've seen people move people 1,000 times, so that's what I don't like about it. In the middle of the straightaway, he wrecked this man instead of moving him. You can see it when he starts backing up before they even reach the corner, gets out and raises his hands. A punk move indeed." With that said, what are your thoughts on Ty Gibbs and his potential in NASCAR? Do you believe that the team will fail once he steps in to replace Busch? Let us know in the comments section below. And that ends today's episode. We sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please click on the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you have any questions or comments, please share them with us in the comments space below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more of our incredible videos. You can also check out our other videos that have been specially selected for you. We'll catch up in the next video.